The Bitcoin price has lost critical support and is on its way to fulfill our worst case scenario for this dip. And so far, we are already down in this bull market dip about 23%. And if we hit this worst case target that we outlined here, it would be close to a 30% correction, which is not unusual in a bull market. So, hey everyone, it's a Patient Hodler coming at you with another update on the crypto market. If you enjoy these very quick and frequent updates, then let me know by smashing up the like button right now. In today's video, we are going to shed a light on why we lost support, why this price action is as it is coming down. We are going to look at a little bit of what is going to change maybe throughout the day, because there are very important things coming up. And as you're seeing this video, you might still find value in what we have here as news. But let's jump right in. Okay, let's look at the price action here. We have been in this bull flag for over a month right now, coming back and forth between these lines, and we have clearly lost now critical support and basically find ourselves at the previous intermediary resistance here, or better support here, but there is still more way open to the downside. And the reason why we have this is uncertainty, as so often. We have discussed that markets hate uncertainty, and the recent uncertainty is about what the Fed is going to announce today in terms of the rates higher for longer, you remember, and what they're going to answer on their basically checkmate situation that they are in. So journalists will have the basically the opportunity today to ask questions to Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell will address the public after the FOMC meeting that is right in about 6 hours from making this video. And basically we see here the Federal Reserve has been ensnared in a holding pattern that likely will reflect when it closes its meeting on Wednesday. Markets are anticipating a near zero chance that the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC, the central bank's policy setting arm, will announce any change to the interest rate. So the market is expecting no changes. But what's really important here is why the price action is going down. For now, the market has been expecting at least 2 to 3 rate cuts more to the end of the year. And if there's anything like more hawkish from Jerome Powell, that could mean that the Fed would hint at less rate cuts in the near future, and that would be bearish or seen as bearish from the market, because then this means the interest rates stay up. This means that lower income people will get wrecked first on their credit card interest rates on a longer term. This also means that fixed credits that are coming out of the rate fixing will have way higher interest rates, and more people will get wrecked. That means that the economy that is already suffering right now in terms of output will have longer times where they cannot get cheap credit and so on. So that all will affect, and I think that will affect the broader market. So if there is a hawkish statement or some hawkish statements today, we can expect lower prices. If though the Fed is saying, hey, we are going to wait this out, we'll see, we're still projecting 3 rate cuts or so towards the end of the year, then maybe the market will bounce back with a nice green price action. And then we see here the only piece of news likely to come out of the meeting itself is an announcement that the Fed will soon reduce the level at which it is running down the bond holdings on its balance sheet. So that is also correlating with a hawkish policy that basically the Fed is loading off the balance sheet, and if they reduce that, that means that they are not going to dilute the market with that, and that bonds can a little bit recover. But overall, that is what we are expecting. So this is coming up in, you can also look this up when it's coming up exactly. This at the time of making this video, it's in 6 hours and 2 minutes. This is the CME watch tool, so the CME group CME Fed watch tool. And here in this Fed watch tool, we can see, if you look here above me, the chance that the market is seeing the rates. So basically it's seeing that the rates will stay, because the rate is this value here, that the rates are staying in at the same for this meeting is 97.5%. There's only a 2.5% expectance of rate cuts for this meeting. And I think this is this is very true. And then we would have the next one, 12th of June, and here we see, for example, that actually there is seen a only 6% chance, for example, that rate cut will happen, and a very, very high chance of still staying the same for the next ones, and so on. So you can really click here through these expectancies of what the Fed is going to do. And the more you progress, the higher the chances are, or the market sees the chances higher, that actually the Fed will. So here we have a 20% already for the July FOMC meeting for rate cuts and so on. So the more you move up here, for example, for September, the more you see here already there's close to a flip already, almost 40% chance for a rate cut and 7%. So we have a 50 basis point rate cut. So, and depending on this FOMC meeting right now, this might change. So these chances might change after that. And the market hates uncertainty, and that is what we're seeing in the Bitcoin price action right now. So the second thing, if you have watched yesterday's video, second thing to see here is if we're going to the monthly chart and we are seeing where we had our monthly close, because actually yesterday we had our monthly close, we actually had it here at about this level. Actually, it is a little tiny bit the close below the previous all-time high, which is something that I don't like to see. But basically, in the last minute, it got pushed above or at close to this previous all-time high. And now the next month opened within, it's not even 24 hours, and we're already in the red. That doesn't have to stay this way, but it could. It could be a red month, right? It could be a red month before we continue our bull market higher. I would still say that we are in a bull market still, because of the price action in the shorter term. I think the cool off was necessary because of our hard run up. So if you see this here, we have this hard run up of over 100%. At some point, actually this was around 100%, 91% from here. And even if we go to our bearish target of 52%, of 52,000, we would still have a nice, way higher low here, and then we can continue our run. This is nothing unusual in bull markets to have a drawdown like this. These cool-offs are necessary, and so far, if you are following my daily live streams and my video updates, you know that we have basically predicted this whole move. I mean, this is picture perfect, this whole move. And now the question is, will we see a bounce up a little bit here? I didn't draw it as much as we should have it, maybe on like retesting from below, bearish retest on this flag, and then continue to the downside. This could definitely happen. The bullish target is for now out of the question, as we did not break above. Now, let's look at a little bit more here. There's another thing that is adding to the FUD, and that is the MicroStrategy first quarter financial results. So MicroStrategy, as discussed in yesterday's video, has added more Bitcoin. They're sitting at 214,400 Bitcoin, which is a ton. But their stock is suffering hard. Like their stock has suffered minus 20%, and the reason is that the earnings were not as of expectations. They have a total decrease in revenue at 5.5%, and the FUD of the day is that MicroStrategy might have, if they are in trouble, might have to liquidate Bitcoin. I don't think this is the case, by the way. I really don't believe that MicroStrategy has, because they have just added, which they wouldn't. I mean, they knew before how their quarter report would be, and they have just added at 60,000 more Bitcoin. And I think the same FUD was during the bear market, that they would get liquidated. And I mean, you see the drawdown here, and they just added more to their position. So maybe, yes, they will be a target in the future for harsh drawdowns, so that they at some point get liquidated. But so far, they are adding to their position. So I don't think that this FUD should worry us in any point here. And then let's also look a little bit at Bitcoin dominance, because I have to give you the updates here. Yesterday we saw a stronger move out of Bitcoin dominance. Today we have the contrary. Bitcoin is collapsing. The altcoins didn't suffer that much. Therefore, Bitcoin is moving sideways now in dominance, still dominating the market by 55%. Still a very high value. If you are looking at the broader trend, the trend is up still, and as long as this does not change, I mean, we have a nice rejection here at this mega wedge, so this could be it already, or we could now come into a trickle down effect where we are basically moving sideways and along this wedge. So quickly outlining what this wedge tells us, and I have to refresh here because TradingView doesn't like it when I have multiple charts open. And let's look at the weekly here for Bitcoin dominance, so that we can really see the uptrend and the wedge. So basically every altcoin season more or less started, and actually if you would draw this correctly, you have a bullish test on top of this. But we could still have this as a fake out and drop down. But just so you know, here we have this wedge, and we are basically having, every time we get rejected from this point, you can also extend this here a little bit more. Every time we get rejected from this point, we have a massive altcoin season. And the last altcoin season was a weak rejection here. And now actually we have broken this to the upside, and we could fall back into this pattern and then have directly an altcoin season. But for me, in my opinion, it doesn't really make sense to drop back in here right now, have an altcoin season. I would say that once Bitcoin finished the correction we're looking at, we will continue to rise to the upside and actually break out here to the upside for Bitcoin dominance and head to the 60%. That's what I would just guess from the fundamentals and everything else. I think we are still in a Bitcoin season. I mean, you see the trend is up. And basically that's it. What does that mean for the altcoins? I mean, guys, you cannot make this stuff up. If you are following this channel, you remember that we have basically put this in early here, this chart. So the blue stuff is how we moved in the last cycle, and here is the price action. So yes, we have been pumping early, and we thought, okay, maybe we are very left translated, but right now this sell-off actually hits back exactly into where we are right now, with where we were in the previous cycle. And actually there could be even a little bit more sell-off and we would be good, right? So this for the altcoins, and we are going to keep a closer eye on this. Guys, if you enjoyed this quick market update, then please smash up the like button right now, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and don't be so worried about the crypto market. I think this is a buying opportunity, maybe the last buying opportunity before we go into a crazy run. This buying opportunity is not only today, this buying opportunity will probably stretch out for weeks, maybe months, and until this correction and this dip is finished. But I think today we are at very good levels, also at many altcoins. If you're looking at VeChain, if you're looking at Chappies, if you're looking at Ecomi, if you're looking at OpenFabric AI, if you are looking at whatever altcoin you're looking at, you have very big and deep retracements. Metacade, I think this is where you would not financial advice, but where we can allocate some money into our altcoins to then ride this thing up. I mean, we see it in the indicators that we are heading into oversold territories, so there could be a little bit more downside, which is why we applied DCA strategies. But overall, I think this is a buy the dip moment, also because there are so many people out there that call for the end of the bull run already, that we are headed into massive financial crisis, which I don't believe is coming up right now. I think there is, before we headed into a massive financial crisis, there will be extensive money printing, and we will see and update what the Fed will decide today. So guys, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and I catch you in the next market update. Bye.